Hi, this is Stephen, and this is Astro Indicator Update, Excursions into Practical Astrology, and this is episode 49. And today is Sunday, July 26th. So let's look and see what we're doing today. I can't resist. I need to do a little bit of Dr. Fauci follow-up, a 10-second comment. And then we'll get into gold and silver have been booming higher, just as we forecast. And we have quite a bit of crypto news because it is just amazing how to me, it seems, as it comes out, 100% aligned with the bullish astro indicators that we've been forecasting. And then we'll do our market update. Dow, gold, we'll add some precious metal stocks, look at what's going on there, silver, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the US dollar. Okay, here he is right there. If you didn't watch my last week's video, I just sort of ranted a little bit. He had come out during that week, 10 days ago or something, and had talked to MarketWatch, and he had said, if it was me, I'd never go to a restaurant again. I would never get into an airplane. And if you're looking into this, the cases may be way higher, but the fatality rates are continuing to go down, and other things. But here he is. He was asked to throw the first pitch at a baseball game. Many of you have seen this photo, and here he is. As far as I'm concerned, demonstrating his hypocrisy. He's not social distancing. He's not wearing his mask at the moment, etc., etc. So it's completely, do what I say and not what I do when it comes to Dr. Fauci. So that's enough. Okay, here we've got some gold news. I'll get into crypto news. I'll try to be brief, but major things are happening in both the precious metal and the crypto market right now. It's reflected in the price, and it shows up on the fundamentals as well. A record 170 tons of physical gold were just delivered on the COMEX. Here's why. This fellow, I don't know really how to pronounce his last name, but Jan at Voima Gold, he really is an expert in the kind of inner workings of the gold market. And he's talking about there's just a huge demand in gold on many levels. In the past, the COMEX, the exchanges were deliveries happened, but primarily people were trading paper contracts back and forth. They were not waiting for delivery. Now they are. And so the COMEX has been pressured to find available gold to meet these delivery demands. And this article just talks about that. On the more retail level, gold and Gold Eagle sales are already 3 times last year's total. U.S. Mint still struggling to produce silver Eagles. So when you want delivery in COMEX, you're talking about the big guys wanting delivery. And here's the fun news about the more retail level and the demand that you see there. Okay, crypto news. A number of things happened this week. After banning crypto in 2018, MasterCard is now bullish on Bitcoin. I own a MasterCard debit card that I can use through BitPay, where I can spend my crypto. I can go to the grocery store, use it as a debit card. I have one that's a Visa card and one that's a MasterCard as well. So MasterCard's completely come around because they know that they're missing out on on the fees that you can make in this market. PayPal picks Paxos to supply crypto for news service, sources say. Okay, this is CoinDesk, online news service for cryptocurrencies, and it is one of the best. So this has some, is backed by some, credibility from, the source it's coming from. PayPal has over 300 million people that they service. They too realize that they may be missing the boat because you have other service providers like what's it called? Can't think of it right now. Cash App, Venmo, people like that, kind of digital payment services that have been using Bitcoin for a while. PayPal's the big daddy, and now it really looks like it's stepping in to to offer Bitcoin as one of their services. It's a big deal. Why PayPal Venmo report is much bigger than you think. It goes into talking about the significance of these reports. And then in addition, suddenly U.S. regulators are allowing U.S. banks to hold Bitcoin, and this is very positive for crypto. And so in the past, the crypto exchanges like Coinbase or Gemini, they have been approved to act as custodians to hold Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ID numbers for funds that trade on Wall Street. But now what's coming out is that banks are, again, just like PayPal, these people realize that they're missing out and they want to get on board. And so not only do you find crypto-specific entities acting as custodians, but now we have, probably larger U.S. banks will be holding Bitcoin and crypto and, serving that same purpose in the financial world. So just adoption is taking place at all levels in crypto. And a lot of this has come out just from the last 2 weeks. And as I've referred to, why are they doing this? Well, here's an article that's talking about coincidence. Top 5 Swiss banks profits up 34% after Bitcoin integration. Okay, the adoption is happening at all levels. The financial world, is not resisting anymore. They want to get into this as well. And it's, they see the profits that can be made. And finally, this week came out that ESPN is launching a gaming platform with cryptocurrency payments. Again, they're going to be using Bitcoin. I think they're going to be using some what are called ERC20 tokens, which is related to Ethereum. So again, it is just promoting wider and wider use of Bitcoin. And if you're not into Bitcoin, you have to realize that there's a limited supply. And that's the significant fact here, is that there's only so much Bitcoin ever going to be created. And as adoption and demand increases, that will have a supply and demand effect on the price of Bitcoin. Now, if you want more news in the Bitcoin world, I used to be up on cryptocurrencies much more than I am now. A few years ago, it just takes a lot of time to research it. But I do check in on YouTube. I check in with a site called Lark Davis, L-A-R-K Davis. It's his name. His name is Lark Davis. And I go to Altcoin Daily. And they're very good as well. And then earlier I mentioned CoinDesk as a website. So all those are, if you want to get into crypto, I mean, the big thing with crypto right now is decentralized finance, and the altcoins that are, look to be major players in what is called the DeFi segment. Decentralized finance segment of the cryptocurrency world. That's what's big. But this week, Ethereum in particular has blown through some resistance. Bitcoin is not far behind. So let's look at some charts. Here we go. We got the Dow Jones. We don't have a lot of the green lines. If you haven't watched my videos in the past, the videos, I have a website now, which I'll give you the address later at the end of this video, where you can go in and you can get the key astro dates where I see significant moves occurring. You can get those dates quickly by going to my website. Here on this video blog, I go into a little bit more detail. I talk, I make more comments, and I just add more detail than you can find at the website. So the green vertical lines are when I see kind of a significant date occurring. And here we had a date. It resulted in definitely a momentum up through a resistance level. So I integrate and combine technical analysis, standard conventional technical elements with the astrology, which is indicated here by these vertical lines. And for a while, I've said the astrology has not been great. These are kind of secondary astrological dates, these more tan lines. And the astrology isn't highly supportive for a move higher. But you have to factor in what the Fed is doing. This market hinges on what the Fed is doing. If they're going to come out with more money or indicate they're buying many more corporate bonds and so forth and so on, this will move the market higher. But you have to play the technicals when the astrology is not, strong. So the technicals here, we have these green major, trend lines showing up here. Here's Friday's price action. We're getting close to this support area, 50-day moving average. If we break below, then we're going to come down to this area. We are entering a weak period. Traditionally, in this, in looking at the seasonality of the Dow Jones Industrials and the indexes in general, August, September are generally weak. It wouldn't surprise me if we trade down. We have somewhat of a bullish. This is really the first bullish thing happening, but that's a month away, this green line, okay? So play the technicals is my advice in the Dow. Okay, so this is what happened. We had a major, unusually strong date here going back to, I think it was July 14th. And, immediately not much happened. It kind of showed up more. There's intermarket factors that go on between some of these markets. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, dollar, etc. And so it took a few days for this to kick in, and then it showed up when we broke through this resistance level right there, and it has been heading higher, and now we're very close to all-time highs. I think this was the more important resistance level. Now we are definitely overbought at all-time levels in the precious metal markets. Looking down here at the RSI, we're overbought here. It's true for silver as well. We are due for a little bit of a pullback, and you can play this any way you want to play it. You can try to second guess the market and take some money off the table, put in tight stops, just hold on, whatever you want to do. We don't have another strong date until we get out into August 17th. In general, though, we have periodic and more longer lasting astrological cycles in the precious metals markets that indicate to me, it's my opinion, this is not trading advice, I guess, it indicates to me that this market is going to be strong for a number of months, 6 months or so. So, if you're not into this market, try to buy. When you're interested, look for some pullbacks or do what's called dollar cost average. Put a little bit in on a regular basis over that period of time, and it'll iron out. But we've had a big jump in gold. We're definitely at technically the all-time highs right here. We're due for a pullback. The next major dates here are August 3rd and then definitely August 17th. Here's silver. Silver really took out this resistance level kind of on the second major date that occurred this past week. The green line, we had a green line here which boosted it, but that second one, it really has taken off. This is where we were trading on Friday. We are due for a pullback. Silver tends to be more volatile than gold. So we could have a significant pullback. And so watch that. The next trading dates, August 3rd, August 20th, I think. Let me look at my notes so I got it right here. Sometimes it gets covered up on the chart there. August 3rd, August 11th. Okay, this is August 3rd, August 11th. And then when we get out to August 20th, I think we have something more significant. Excuse me while I look at my notes, just to want to make sure I'm giving you the right dates. Yeah, August 20th is definitely an unusual strong day for silver. So play that in. I mean, what likely could happen because of all this momentum is we could, a triangle-shaped pattern could form here. We could kind of trade sideways until we get out to this level out here. So be patient. I don't see this actually just, continuing heading higher. There's too many people, too many computers trading off the technicals, which are overbought. Okay, I don't do this all the time, but I just wanted to show you, this is the gold stock fund. It's called the Juniors. It's not made up of the smallest companies, but they are kind of smaller than what are called the majors. And this is a weekly chart, so every bar is a week's amount of trading. Back in April, we were trading around 20. We are now trading near 60. Big move, okay? But we'll look at the monthly chart in a minute. This is due for a pullback. We're getting overbought, okay? This is due for a pullback of some sort. Again, I think it could end up to kind of be very possibly a triangle or even a flag maybe, and kind of trend sideways. I think we have higher prices ahead. This is the monthly. That chart we just looked at was this little segment right here. This is what was happening back in 2011. Will we get there? I can't guarantee that. But we have what could be termed a lot of headroom since we've breached this resistance level right there. A lot of headroom in the stock, in the gold. This is a volatile section. It's not, it's for people who can deal with volatility, and it's unpredictable, so there's no guarantees here, but this market looks very strong at the moment, even though we're due for some sideways or a little pullback. Okay, here's Bitcoin. For a long time, go back to my other videos. Back in December, I was talking about a crisis occurring in the U.S. So that was going to be very intense and involved sort of a life and death situation. I couldn't predict that it was going to be a pandemic or, classified as such, but go back to my December. Some of my forecasts are spot on. And here we go. Here's Bitcoin. This is Sunday's trading. It didn't get the big boom that Ethereum did, but you can stop and think about this. When you look at the bigger charts, these two lines, the horizontal line right there matches up with this old high. This red line coming in goes all the way back to the 2017 high. These are significant resistance levels. It had to go through this 50-day moving average right on a key astro date, one of those green lines. A lot of resistance Bitcoin has been hitting versus when we look at Ethereum in a second. Ethereum was the stronger market. When these key dates kicked in, it was already over the 50-day moving average. It had, used the expression, a lot of headroom already, which Bitcoin doesn't. Okay, Bitcoin has to get through these two levels, and then it will really move, in my estimation. We're not yet quite overbought, so let's see what happens here. Let me look at my notes. So we have something kind of a minor date, which may slow things up here on the 28th. It may slow the momentum, let's put it that way. But then we definitely have some more bullish things happening out on August 8th. So we may get some sideways movement here until August 8th. But given the news, what we just recovered, at the earlier in this podcast, given the news, given what's happening with Ethereum, this momentum could very well go stronger. Play the technicals, because if we get close above this area right here, that would be very bullish. Okay, here's Ethereum. Again, when this date happened right here, it was already above the 50-day moving average. That date blew it through this resistance, okay? It was a significant move. That's what I'm trying to forecast. It blew through this resistance, and now we're well up into the next, grade A astro date. However, this is the big however, just like gold relative to silver, gold was, over the last 2 weeks, it was really overbought, and now Ethereum is getting very overbought. So we start to lose steam when the technicals, when we start fighting the technicals a little bit, and we may be entering into that territory right now. But we do have, the Ethereum profile, astro profile, whatever you want to call it, has a little more volatility kind of mixed into it than Bitcoin. So we'll just see how it plays out. So, if you're a buy and holder, then I would, then if that's your style, that's fine. Okay. If I'm looking through my notes as I talk. However, a lot of good news is coming out. I'm looking down the line. When we get into September, more bullishness, definite strong dates are happening. So, the odds are that this market could just trade sideways. When it trades sideways, these overbought conditions start to come down. It gives people confidence to start buying the market and so forth. But, it could very well come back down to this level right here. It was resistance. It's going to act as support, so we could come down. That's my guess. Okay, here's one that I've been wrong about. I need to tell people that my forecasts are correct every now and then, okay? But this is one where I just didn't think this through right. Because going back a couple times in my podcast, I've said this date right here should have been a bullish date in the US dollar, and it should have been sort of a fake out move down, and we should have bounced. We didn't. And just like a news report, you can evaluate the strength or weaknesses of a market by how it responds to the news sometimes. It didn't respond to this astro date very strongly at all. In fact, it was weak. And so that told me this market was much, much weaker than people were indicating. And actually, I could have drawn in another line right here. That's not in, I could have drawn in a nice kind of secondary neckline to this market, because we did get a little bounce here, but when we broke through that neckline and then recently broke through this horizontal support level, again, last week I said, these two dates are so strong, it just seems like we're going to get a bounce. But the weakness, all the money printing, it's starting to show up in, the dollar sinking, which is going to reflect itself into higher prices at the cash register, increasingly. And where do you go when inflation like that picks up? You go to, in my estimation, you go to precious metals, Bitcoin, and so forth, because this market, again, we're due for a bounce of some sort because we're just getting oversold. But the fact that we have dropped more on dates that should have been, indicated some bullishness, just again tells me that this market is heading south. And to kind of emphasize that fact, let's look at this. This is a US day US dollar weekly, and this just shows, we were just looking at this section. So this last support level, we've come down to this support level, which is, could have been drawn in right there. But I think the preceding one was really stronger because it was sort of a neckline going all the way back there. We may get a little back test. But if we break through that blue line over the next couple of weeks or so, we could come all the way down to here with the dollar. And what's that mean? It means the dollar is losing value relative to other currencies. It takes more dollars to buy something, and probably that will show up in the price of gold and silver, and possibly Bitcoin as well. So that is it for today. My name is Stephen. I've been researching financial astrology for 25 years. I have a master's degree in psychology, which I still do work in. Obviously, hard money, crypto advocate. If you have a question, this is my email address. This is my website where you can immediately go get these dates, and this video is also posted on it. Sometimes on Sunday. It's not there yet, but sometime on Sunday it will be there. I do accept Bitcoin donations, and that's it for today. If you would like this video, hit the like button, comment, suggest a astrological person or event for me to profile, because it seems like people like that. And consider subscribing. Every now and then I don't do this on a weekly basis. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks. So if you want to get notified of every episode, please subscribe. So that's it for today. It's likely that I will be back in a week. So thanks for listening. Bye for now.